Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're your hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every weekday, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can find all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues affecting you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me, one more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
Common Council for January 13, 2026. The first thing is to call to the order to the meeting at 6:31. Please stand up for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, Joe is online. All right. Okay. So next is roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Radafrada.
Here.
Alder Dancer Jr.
Here.
Alder Gerhardt.
Here.
Alder Herbst.
Here.
Alder Jetzer.
Here.
Alder Lattice.
Here.
Alder Lepper.
Here.
Alder Maldonado.
Here.
Alder Regstead.
Here.
You do have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. So next we move to item 4 is for public appearances for non-agenda items and new appointments. Do we have anyone in the audience for non-agenda items? Nope. So then we move to the mayoral proclamation, and tonight we are recognizing January as a Firefighter Cancer Awareness Month. Okay, can you start the proclamation and then?
Yes. Recognizing January as Firefighter Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas Fitchburg firefighters serve our community by putting our safety above their own, and
whereas firefighters often work in a toxic environment of smoke, soot, and other carcinogens, and
whereas according to research, firefighters have a 9% greater chance of being diagnosed with cancer and a 14% greater chance of dying from cancer than the general population, and
whereas firefighter occupational cancer is the leading cause of line of duty deaths in professional firefighters and has reached epidemic levels, and
whereas studies have found a direct correlation between the chemical exposures firefighters experience on the job and their increased risk for cancer, and
whereas 50 states, 10 provinces, and 1 territory recognize cancer as a presumptive workers' compensation claim for firefighters, and
whereas early detection of cancer through routine screening leads to earlier treatment and better disease outcomes, including improved survival and reduced morbidity, and
whereas the International Association of Firefighters, IAFF, and the Firefighter Cancer Support Network, FCSN, have declared January as Firefighter Cancer Awareness Month.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and the Common Council recognize January as a Firefighter Cancer Awareness Month and encourage the Fire Department to participate in activities and initiatives with the International Association of Firefighters, IAFF, and the Firefighter Cancer Support Network in recognition of Firefighter Cancer Awareness Month, while also promoting awareness of firefighter cancer risk among Fitchburg residents. This is proclaimed today, January 13, 2026. So, before we go to the picture, Chief, do you want to add something to this?
Yeah, I just want to thank the council and the mayor for making this proclamation. This is unfortunately an emerging hazard to our occupation. We haven't really figured out exactly how to solve it, prevent it, or slow it down yet. We're doing a lot of things proactively to see if that'll have an impact. Obviously all of technology and the things we put in our homes and build our homes with change from more man-made products to synthetics, and a lot of that has to do with that. Some of it has to do with us making sure we're taking better care and cleaning our equipment, especially the equipment we put on our bodies, and trying to find ways to not have to use forever chemicals. Those chemicals for a long time and still, unfortunately, are in our protective gear that we wear into fires. So we're working on it. The fire service in this world is working on it. Hopefully we can make some progress, and we appreciate the country's support in dedicating money to do research into this area and hopefully take it off the #1 spot of line of duty deaths. So
Okay,
thank you again.
Okay, thank you. Let's have a picture.
Everybody like each other. Let's go.
Maybe we need some firefighting.
You three.
Fire station 1, you're on this side.
All right. How far back?
Tell you what, you need 2 rows here. Where's our city attorney? Is this workers' compensation?
Yes, sir. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you guys for coming.
No.
It's good to see you anymore.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we move to the mayoral appointments, and we have 3 tonight. So I will call to the microphone Jason Rice for the Plan Commission. His term will expire on April 18, 2028. Okay, Jason, can you tell us who you are and why you want to be in this commission?
Yeah, definitely. Jason Rice, Fitchburg resident, live in District 2. Let's see my background. I'm in commercial real estate, been involved for the last 7-8 years. Development, property management, most recent development, 29-unit apartment building in Maple Bluff is our most recent development that I was a part of. Went successfully, familiar with TIF, all the different zoning, and I'm excited to help Fitchburg grow and learn this side of it as I've been on the developer side, so excited to learn the municipal side of it as well.
Okay. Any question, comment?
Just wanted to say welcome to the Plan Commission. I'll move approval of Jason Rice to the Plan Commission.
Second.
All those in favor of appointing Jason Rice for the Plan Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Welcome.
you.
Thank you for your willingness to serve, okay?
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
So next one is another appointment for Chase Zimmerman for the Community and Equity Advisory Committee. His term will expire April 2027.
Howdy.
Hello.
Should I just tell you a little bit about myself here?
Yes.
All right. Hi, my name is Chase Zimmerman. I live just up the road right off Botanical Drive in the Juniper. And I would really love to give back to my community in some way. I got to do that all through college by serving on various committees and being involved in government. And I was looking for a relatively small way to enter into that space here in Fitchburg, my new home, and so I talked to the mayor and found out that there was an opening on this committee. And funnily enough, I actually did a lot of work in this space on my campus, involved in the strategic plan for the entire campus for UW-Whitewater, designing goals around inclusivity and belonging. And so I really like to operate in that space, and I think I'm pretty knowledgeable about unique ways to fund things and various ways to make things happen, basically. So yeah, love to give back and happy to have the opportunity to serve.
Thank you. Any question, comments for Chase? No? Okay.
I'll move approval of Chase Zimmerman.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the appointment of Chase Zimmerman to the Community and Equity Advisory Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, sorry. The motion carried. Thank you, Chase. Okay.
Thank you. Have a great night.
So next is the appointment for Daniel Schultz for the EMS Commission, and his term will expire on May 15, 2027.
Hello, everyone. I am joining virtually. I am down in Arizona for a conference. So I work in the tech space for the EMS and fire industry, so I'm very familiar with the fire and EMS industry as a whole. I serve 21 states, so I speak with a lot of fire chiefs and EMS chiefs throughout the United States. I'm a resident of Fitchburg. I've lived in Fitchburg for the past, well, on and off a little bit. I moved a little bit in there, but have a house just up the street for the last 3 years. I've been in EMS specifically for the last 4 years. I work for 2 different departments within Dane County as well. And then I also serve on the Dane County EMS peer support team as well for the county. I heard this opportunity was an option, and I figured why not take some of my wealth of knowledge working within the industry and apply it here at home. Obviously, I am a resident of Fitchburg, so I want to make sure that the people that have to come to my house, should they have to come to my house, have what they need. And I think that having someone with the industry and field experience and clinical field experience would be someone worthwhile having on the commission. So that's a little bit about me.
Thank you. Any question, comments?
I went through my EMS training with Daniel, and I think he would be a great asset to the commission.
Yes, thank you.
Both trainings.
Okay.
I move to approve Daniel Schultz for the EMS commission.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of approving Daniel Schultz for the EMS commission, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carried. Okay, thank you and welcome. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Mayor, I'll move to postpone the appointment of Mary Winkers to the EMS Commission indefinitely.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of, what do you say?
Postpone indefinitely.
Postpone indefinitely, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay. So next, I need someone to move the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any question, comments about the consent agenda? Here none. All those in favor of the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So next we move to the administrative reports.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope you all had an enjoyable holiday season and your new year is off to a great start. I just have 3 items this evening for you. The first one is the draft Strategic Urban Forestry Management Plan is available on the city's website, and we are taking public comment on that plan at this point in time. You can contact our Parks and Forestry Manager, Eric Schreiner, or our Urban Forester and Naturalist, Anna Healy, to share any feedback you may have on that draft report that's out there. We will have a primary on February 17th. The primary will be for Dane County Circuit Court Judge Branch 1. Absentee voting will be available for that primary beginning on Tuesday, February 3rd, and concluding on February 13th at 5 p.m., excluding weekends. And the new polling locations that were approved by Common Council late last year will be utilized for this primary, and postcards to affected voters will be sent the last week of January to advise them of the new polling locations and or changes that were approved by Common Council. And then the last item that I have is the Communications Department will begin the distribution of an electronic newsletter titled Fitchburg Connect beginning in February, and that will be distributed electronically on a monthly basis. Fitchburg Connect will be modeled off of probably similar communities' newsletters and will contain information with the purpose to improve awareness of city projects, services, and decisions, increasing transparency and accessibility of city information, and complement existing tools such as the city website, social media, and FACTv. Some of the sections that will be included in the monthly newsletter, depending upon content, will include welcome messaging, resident resources, event calendars, public safety related information, development related information, job openings, community spotlights, opportunities to get involved. If there are other ways to stay connected, information on how to do that, and so forth. You can subscribe to this, receive this newsletter on the city website. That will be up and live tomorrow. And I will share that information with you all yet this evening in a little fact sheet that I was just reading off of, as well as the information on how to sign up for that newsletter. As we've discussed, this will be a bit of an evolution. The first one probably won't be the way the 100th one looks, right? So if you do have feedback on these communications, by all means, feel free to reach out to me, Adam, or Jeremy Crosby, and share that feedback and or suggestion as we, again, work to implement this and allow it to evolve over time. So any questions for me on the items that I've mentioned or anything else? The fire EMS? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, thank you. So Mayor Radafrada and I met with members of the Village of Oregon and the City of Stoughton this morning, as well as public safety chiefs from Fitchburg and Oregon as well. This is continuing the initial conversations related to the exploration of a joint fire and EMS district. And you'll note that there was a different list of attendees in this particular meeting. The past meetings have included the City of Verona. At this point in time, they have stepped out of participation, but I believe they are going to continue to follow along on the developments here. And then the City of Stoughton has been invited to participate, and will be determining their next steps as to whether or not they are going to be deeply involved in this process as well. But what I anticipate you will see moving forward is a request for proposal will be going out in the next several weeks here that will be seeking consultant services to effectively create a roadmap on how to create a joint fire and EMS district, and how to best incorporate or integrate the operational functions of multiple departments serving different communities at this point in time into one unified district. It is our hope that if things stay on the timeline, that you'll be getting a resolution in March requesting authorization to go ahead and proceed with a selected consultant, and then we'll look as part of that contract to identify the timelines associated with creating the necessary information that the RFP is requesting, as well as presentation of information to the Common Council. Anything you want to add at all, Mayor?
Fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Any question, comments? Any question for Chad? No? Okay. So thank you, Chad. And next we're moving to the mayor's report, and I have a couple of things to share with you. First, I want to mention that last year, as you know, the city held our first Mission, Vision, and Values Award ceremony. So this is the second year that the city is celebrating that. It's an employee recognition ceremony. So the following employee will be celebrated at the ceremony that is going to be held on Thursday, January 29th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in this chamber. So Mark Hodel from the Street Supervisor for Service, Tracy Force, Assistant Public Work Director from Teamwork, Mandy Miller, Volunteer Coordinator and Nutrition Site Manager for Innovation, and Kerry Miller, Accounting Manager for Accountability. So I want to say thank you to all of these staff for the recognition, and I hope you can join us for that ceremony on January 29. I already forwarded you the email, okay? So then something that happened last week is on January 9 is recognized as a National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day in the United States. So this is an informal observance, not a federal holiday, but many communities use to thank our law enforcement. So I want to say thank you to our Fitchburg law enforcement for this appreciation day and for everything that they do for our community. So while I was in Argentina, I had the opportunity to meet with the vice governor of my province, that is the second largest province in Argentina. And I have a meeting, we exchanged some ideas on networking, and she presented with me with this, kind of gift. And this is the color of this is the flag from my city. My city was founded in the 1500s, so it's almost 600 years old. And then she was a mayor for many years, and she is the second female vice governor in the history of so that one was kind of like
nice.
So,
congratulations.
Yeah, so I think it was great to go back and so I want to share that with you. The other thing I want to share with you what are going to be my priority for 2026, and then I hope that they are your priority as a council. One of the things that we know that we need to work on planning for a smart growth. So as you know, you forgot to mention about the RFP for the plan, for the comp plan and the zoning code is going to be out at the end of January.
End of this week.
Oh, this week. Yeah, sweet. Okay. So, so we are looking at, what I have in mind is planning for a smart growth. And what does it mean, a smart growth? It's like we need to look at development with the infill mind, grow where the infrastructure is already there, look for the right size land use, allowing the missing middle housing, supporting mixed use development, plan for people, not just cars, ensure our streets are safe for walking, biking, and transit, and provide better access. And also be fiscally responsible. Don't approve projects that cost more than to serve the money that they're going to generate. So this is what I always look at this. When I look at neighborhood, I look at like a profit and loss to determine, is with the revenue that we are collecting from those neighborhoods is enough to cover all the expenses. Also, a smart growth means to protect what makes the city livable, our parks, natural resources, in this case also supporting the H&I. The other goal that I have in mind is planning for economic growth. It means creating the condition for businesses and jobs to start, stay, and expand. So supporting our existing business, grow the tax base responsible, and connect housing to employment. My third goal is improving city hall efficiency. So how we can streamline processes, use more AI technology to speed up processes and free up staff capacity. Now that, because as you know, we are understaffed in some of the departments, how we can use technology to create that capacity. My next goal is continue to invest in infrastructure to support future growth. As you know, we are growing, and with the growth, it means that we need to invest in our infrastructure. So upgrade infrastructure, so growth work with residents, not against them. Some of the projects underway are, we are building the water tower, the Ficherona Road is a big project this year, the police facility, the city hall renovation, parks, and all of that. And then housing initiative. We need to continue implementing our initiative, especially the down payment assistance and emergency fund for seniors, and continue working on the government project. And finally, as Chad just mentioned, is continue to explore the option of shared services and EMS fire consolidation and partner with other municipalities. So continue with that. So that's it. This is what I have in mind for 2026. So any question, comments? The other thing that I want to share with you is you see the December police department report. I don't know, you have received it yet? No? Okay, I'm going to send it to you. You will see that, you look at when we compare 24 and 25, I don't know, you look at that, columns, you will see that we have a lot of green. It means that a lot of, incidents are decreasing, okay? So this is a great thing for the city, so we are a safe city, and I like to see this number, and, and some of the domestic, has a 25 decrease, then we have, aggravated assault, 49% decrease. So this is a good number to see. Okay? So I want you to, I want to forward that report to you if you haven't received it. Any question, comment for me? No? Okay.
Well,
yeah.
I just want to say I'm in agreement with all of your priorities.
Okay.
These are like my wish list.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Ditto.
Thank you, guys, and I hope that one you have that in mind for 2026. So, okay, so next we move to...
Can I ask one question real quick?
Yeah.
So remember last time when you did the priorities, we talked a little bit about having kind of sub work groups for the council that were interested in taking on leading some of the priorities. Are we going to do that again? Or?
Yeah. I will send you an email, so you can send me that.
Okay.
Which are the areas that you would like to be more involved.
Gotcha.
Because the other thing is I want to tell is this year what I want to do is if I don't have to participate in some event of, networking, I want you to step up, on my behalf, so yeah. Okay, any other question, comments? Here none, so we move to the Commission and Committees report, and we will start with Plan Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. I will start with the resolutions. Just let me pull it up one moment. I'll move approval of Resolution R 24325, resolution by the City of Fitchburg City Council granting an exception to Section 6223(7)I Wisconsin statutes to allow a community-based residential facility at 5395 East Sherrill Parkway in the city of Fitchburg, Dane County, Wisconsin.
Second.
Plan Commission did approve. This is for a grace. They are creating a dementia village memory care facility on their property on Sherrill Drive. This is a model from the Netherlands. It's never been done in the U.S. It's small group homes. These are not hospice memory care. This is just adults with memory issues. They are, as a result, they're actually eliminating about half of the hospice beds they currently have at their facility, and they're also going to be adding 8 studio apartments for employees of a grace. This is the first part of the process. It's needed because there's some ordinances on the books that basically don't allow residential facilities close to each other that are similar in nature, and then also it has something to do with the percentage of these types of I think it's like the percentage of seniors in the area. Kind of unusual things that we're not concerned about, so we're granting an exception, and we will see more of this. There was a lot in the referrals today in the consent agenda.
We have done this in the past, so okay. Any question, comment? Is Anna here? Okay, yes. No question? Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
What was the goal of those limits when they were first put in place?
So that's actually a state statute.
Okay.
It's not a municipal ordinance. And the state statute indicates that an applicant must obtain an exception from the city if the capacity of all the CBRF units located in a particular Alder district will exceed 1% of the population of that Alder district. So that is actually a state law that we have to comply with.
Okay. I just want to make a comment that this is a really cool project that I think that we should be hyping up as a city more. I think nationwide we should be trying to work towards less medicalization of dementia care, and the fact that we can do that here is really cool, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Any other question, comments? Here none. All those in favor of resolution R-243-25 say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
I'll move approval of Resolution R-1026, approving a certified survey map request by Michelle Burse, agent for No Oaks Ranch LLC, to approve a certified survey map for part of Outlot 2, CSM number 15163.
Second.
Plan Commission did approve. This is basically, we recently approved the preliminary plat. It's in the Nine Springs area. As you might remember, this is going to be many, many buildings. There is a multifamily building that's on a faster timeline than the rest of the lots, which is why we're doing the certified survey map for just this one buildable lot of 2.6 acres. There's interest in starting this spring. The developer is Corey Frank, who we're familiar with because built a lot recently. It's 160 units of multifamily rentals. The parking is mostly underground, and it's very similar in character to other recent builds that we've seen in the area.
Okay, any question, comment? Yes, go ahead.
I just have one quick question for Deanna. Looking at the CSM here, the current stormwater easement for the there's a sanitary, I believe, and then some open water that would kind of eats into that developable lot. So I'm just curious if the easement will be continued in that same form if we approve this here tonight.
We cannot hear.
Deanna, it doesn't look like we can hear you.
Deanna, it looks like you're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
Nope.
On page 333, it looks like there's an outlot within Lot 1 that maybe includes that easement.
Oh, Tim is also there. I don't know if Tim knows about this. No? No? Okay.
Does Deanna want to go out and come back in? And yeah,
I apologize.
Don't leave.
We can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Oh, you can. Okay. So the easement is going to remain exactly as it's shown. And the site plan that you see in this packet is just kind of a preliminary. It's not a final site plan. Staff hasn't had a whole review on this site plan. The site plan is going to need to change to accommodate the easement.
Thank you.
Any other? Yeah, Bill, go ahead.
Yeah. So what is the overall end vision going to be for this area? I mean, this is T5, right? Which, according to the definition, should be mixed-use buildings, office, retail, and residential. This particular building is just residential. So how does the rest of that entire rather large area develop over time?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a mix. So what you'll see is closer to Lacey, we would expect, and maybe right on Central Park Place and on Lacey, that's where we would expect the most of the commercial. Not every building in T5 in No Oaks is going to be able to support commercial. I think we've already seen that as the development has come forward. So we're looking at, with staff in the development community, that to concentrate the commercial uses along Lacey and then right along that first part, that intersection with Lacey and Central Park Place. And then particularly, we've always kind of envisioned south of Lacey on Central Park Place, that was to be the kind of the main street area connecting Lacey to the hospital sites. So we're trying to be strategic with where commercial can be supported.
Any other question? Comments? No? Okay, all those in favor of resolution R-10-26 say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, I'm sorry, I always forgot about the other two. The motion carries.
I'll move
Next
approval of resolution R-09-26, approving certified survey map request by Danny Affable, agent for JT Klein, to approve a certified survey map to create 2 lots out of 1 existing lot on property associated with Orchard Point Lot 11.
Second.
Plan Commission did approve this. This is a project we've seen multiple times before. This is the rezone. This is the certified survey map. The next step will be the rezone. Just to give a general overview of the project, this is the Orchard Point development. It's on Nesbitt Road, right across from the 10-pin alley. We've discussed it quite a bit already. It's 80 units of senior affordable housing and 100 units of market rate housing, any age, no age limit. Both 4 stories, between studios and 3-bedroom apartments. There are outdoor amenities. The traffic impact study was done, and it looks good. About 40% of the area is open space. There is less parking for the senior units because that's what's anticipated is needed. And the fire department's working with them. They don't have 2 access points, so the multi-use path is going to have access for the fire department, but they are working on that. There is solar on the senior building, I believe, to meet WIDA requirements or to get points for the WIDA application. And there are going to be EV charges underground.
Okay, this one, number 3 and 4 are together, like they're related. So,
yes.
Any question, comment about this? Diana, do you want to add anything else?
This project is essentially the same that has come before council with the Plan Development District GIP, the General Implementation Plan. No significant changes, just a bit more further refinement.
Okay, thank you.
And what's a rough timeline for construction?
We can ask, the developers are here. Danny, can you come to the microphone?
Right now, we're just kind of going through the final stages of our financing. We're probably aiming for late spring for the first phase, which will be the senior building. I think in a perfect world, let's call it June 1st for the senior building and then August 1st to start ground on the market rate project.
Any other question? Yeah, yes, go.
Would that then be like 18-month construction before occupancy?
We're probably aiming for 14 months, 13 if we're really, the weather cooperates, but it's Wisconsin, so 14 is probably a little bit more conservative. If we're able to move it up a little bit, that's always the goal, so we can lease during the summer.
Any other question, comments? No? Joe and Dave, do you have any question? Okay, thank you. Okay, all those in favor of resolution R-09-26 say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Next one.
I'll move approval of ordinance 2026-001, approving rezone request by Danny Affable, agent for JT Klein, to rezone property from PDD GIP, Plan Development District General Implementation Plan, to PDD SIP, Plan Development District Specific Implementation Plan, to allow for proposed multifamily residential development on property associated with Orchard Point Lot 11.
Second.
This is the rezone to bring us to the final zoning so that construction can begin.
Okay.
Same project as before.
Any question, comment? Do you want to add anything? No? Okay.
Thing that she said.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor of ordinance 2026-0-01, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The ordinance carries. It's okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
One other side note, we also approved an ADR at Plan Commission for this,
yeah.
but it just does not come to council. And I'll move on to the next ordinance. I'll move approval of ordinance 2025-018, amending Chapter 23 Smart Code Zoning District Ordinance, Article 1, Article 3, and Article 5 as amended by Plan Commission.
Okay.
Plan Commission did pass this with an amendment.
And can you explain the amendment?
Yeah, so these are lots of different changes to Smart Code to make it easier in lots of different ways for staff and for developers to continue developing. It's just like over time using the code, it's realized that there's just certain things that don't work. One of the original proposals was to allow higher buildings in transit-oriented development T5 zones of up to 8 to 12 stories. There was some concern about being able to have like up to 12 stories by right without, the context being taken into place or any approvals being able to happen within the commissions. So we made an amendment. It increases that higher building in T5 transit-oriented development up to 8 stories by right, up to 12 stories with an architectural design review through the Plan Commission. That's the one difference that we made. The other types of changes that we're seeing at this, it's allowing for 10-foot multi-use paths, allowing to not require tree grates in certain situations, and also wider sidewalks. Let the park locations be determined by the Parks Commission rather than like a very specific formula that's laid out in Smart Code rather. Allow wider lots, which are really only used from time to time to eliminate. There's this like really specific lot width that exists, and then you end up with these weird like excess lots because they can't be included. So anyway, it just allows for slightly wider lots to get rid of those weird outlots. Allow lots wider than 300 feet in transit-oriented development T5 districts. Include the dark sky ordinance, and then some other minor changes that are not as significant in my mind. But everything is laid out here. Anything I missed, Deanna?
No, I'm happy to take any specific questions from the staff side of things. As Alder Gerhardt said, it's a matter of trying to simplify a couple of things and just kind of clean up things that just wasn't quite clear or workable. Happy to take any questions and to address any concerns.
Okay, yes, Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, 2 questions. So probably the easier one, the variation of larger than 18 inches behind the primary setback that still counts toward the frontage building for larger buildings. Do we foresee any problems if we have more than 18 inches sticking out on the ground floor? Is that ever going to infringe on, walkways or anything?
That is a very good question. So this is a very specific Smart Code requirement. This does not impact the required setbacks. What this is referring to in Smart Code, each building has to, depending on the particular zone, has to maintain frontage or building across a certain portion of the lot. So if you have a 100-foot lot, you need to have 60 feet of building that is next to the sidewalk at the front. However, our code, the current code, what it does is it allows a variation of 18 inches. And still if you don't have more than a variation of 18 inches, you still meet that 60% frontage. What this means with bigger buildings is that 18 inches on a big building is just not very much visually. It doesn't break up the massing very much. So all this is saying is you can still count for your frontage, but have a little bit more variation. It really has nothing to do with the setbacks here.
Okay, so this isn't like the main face of the building is complying with the setback, but then you could have like a little deck or a porch, whatever, for each unit that sticks out further than 18 inches. And I was just wondering if it sticks out too far, if there's going to be a conflict with sidewalks
The
or
stick
anything.
out cannot be far, it cannot, this has nothing to do, they still have to, that stick out still has to meet the setback requirements.
Oh, okay.
It does not have anything to do with the setback requirements. This has to do with what can count towards your 60% of frontage.
Okay. So the other question I had was with the curb radii going from, prescribed number of feet to prescribed number of feet, or as required by city engineer. I guess I'll just point out that larger radii encourage faster vehicle turns, which are dangerous to pedestrians, and I'm wondering what the intent of this is, and what do we think its actual use, in practice is going to be?
Yes. So under Smart Code, as you saw, we have very specific street layouts. And what has been happening that is a challenge for our public works staff is these particular street layouts don't necessarily match our on-the-ground situations. So depending on if this is an intersection with East Sherrill or this is an intersection with a side street, these different kinds of streets really require different kinds of curb radii. And Smart Code doesn't have that flexibility to make sure that things are fitting. And so our public works staff are great. They're very aware of walkability, safety for bikers and walkers, but they also need to address emergency vehicles, and also they need to address the garbage pickup and those kinds of things. And so it's always a balance based on that particular intersection traffic loads, based on where and the types of traffic. So all this is giving is a little bit more flexibility to our professional engineers to make that call.
Would using mountable curbs be a possible solution to that as well? Like keeping a tighter radius, but mountable so large trucks can just drag a wheel over it?
I don't want to get, I don't have I'm not an engineer, so I don't want to get too far into all of that. I mean, I think it seems like it might be a reasonable request, but I don't feel like I have the background to make that distinction.
Okay, we have another question. Go ahead.
Not a question, just two quick comments. One of them, kind of following up on Alder Jetzer's point. One area where I think it could be helpful to have that additional flexibility is also with Metro Transit. As a regular Route 65 bus rider, and any of my fellow Route 65 bus riders can attest to this, there's a very tight radius on the corner from one of the streets turning back onto Lacey, and the number of times the bus has to stop and back up to clear the intersection is it's not infrequent. So that could be another opportunity, or another opportunity for some flexibility that I think would make a difference. And I just wanted to really quickly share for folks who may not have had a chance to read it, and also for the benefit of the viewing public, just kind of a little bit of a why of why some of these changes are so important. I got an email from a constituent from late last night talking about how that frontage requirement, because their lot was on a corner, it was kind of a very rare situation in Terra Vesa, but they got a call 30 minutes before they were supposed to close, and it's from their builder, and their builder said, hey, we can't build on this because of this weird quirk of smart code. Fortunately, our staff here at City Hall were able to resolve it very quickly, and there was no major delays to getting that house constructed. But just kind of putting a face to the situation and explaining some of the direct constituent impacts that this has. This is something that certainly could have delayed these folks moving into our city from another community. And anything we can do to get rid of some of these weird quirks and those weird, like 6-foot slivers of lots that are, for all intents and practical purposes, being maintained by the person who lives on that corner, but technically different lot because of a maximum lot width. I think this is a great change that will have a very good impact for a very small number of people, but a worthwhile effort nonetheless.
Okay, thank you. Micah.
I have two questions. Is the Parks Commission currently determining the location of parks in any situation?
Well, I can talk a little bit about our process. So Smart Code has come to us with very specific requirements of a playground within 1,000 feet of every residential home, which is very great. We want lots of parks, but what that means is the developers are kind of having to shoehorn different things in a park space where it might not really work, and it might not be the best thing for Fitchburg long term. So what all we're saying here is that we're going to give the power back to the Parks Commission to determine where parks should be long term. So as we go into a preliminary plat, and that's where we work through land dedications for parkland, staff works closely with our parks team, our park staff, Eric now, to work through where that parkland dedication should go. And then, of course, all preliminary plats, even before that dedication happens, that goes to Parks Commission before it comes to council too.
Okay. That makes sense. And then secondly, so the one line here about increasing the street tree spacing from 30 feet to 40 feet. I know we struggle to get trees in some of these neighborhoods just because they're so dense. Is there any discussion or concern about making this more difficult to meet tree canopy goals by increasing that?
This is a request that does come from our city forester, and this really brings the requirements of Smart Code in line with the requirements for outside of Smart Code, which is also a 40-foot spacing. And what we have found in terms of trees, canopy, and tree spacing along the streets in Smart Code, it's particularly challenging. We're not actually meeting the 40-foot spacing. And part of that reason has to do with, in Smart Code, the block sizes are generally quite a bit smaller. There's more curb, there's just, in Smart Code, once we move into that more urban kind of form, there's a much more things happening within that street right of way where we're trying to put those trees. So from the city forester's standpoint, this change is really just bringing her into a little bit better line with what she's able to do.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Any other question, comments? Oh, David, do you have a question?
I was just going to add, like I'd asked, in parks, we've been looking at the No Oaks development already, and kind of preliminary Nature Oak, Savannah, park areas. We've been discussing that already. I think we talked about it at last council also. But I think Micah's question was more general about who cites the parks.
Yeah, I was just kind of making sure that we had how you guys kind of fit into the process. So yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, Dave.
Any other comments? Okay, all those in favor of ordinance 2025-0-18 as presented by the Plan Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, thank you.
And I've got a couple more things, Mayor.
Okay.
We had a pre-application for a development called Syncopation. This is off of County Highway MM and US 14. It's 34 acres at 2991 County Highway MM near Terravesa. It's a mixed housing development plan. The entire 34 acres would be developed. The plan is for there's a Trilogy Healthcare Senior Living Facility that's interested in siting there, which would be 119 units of independent assisted skilled and memory care units. There are 30 to 35 single-family homes, and then a two-phase mixed-use development with about 300 apartments, and also townhouses with walk-up units. There was a tree survey completed, identified only 2 desirable trees, but they're going to try to keep as many trees as possible if they're in good shape. They do have a TIF request in the works for the Trilogy facility. They do want some of it to be workforce housing and interested in potentially doing affordable housing in market rate apartment buildings, similar to what we did with the Lido apartments, if feasible. In terms of the phasing of the project, the Trilogy healthcare facility would start first, and then the rest of the plan would come later. A sanitary sewer extension is needed first before things can start. They redesigned the plan. I think this has come up multiple times, but they're trying to minimize the amount of infrastructure to save costs, but still have kind of a diverse site housing and other facilities. The site prep and the grading is going to be a challenge. They are, in an ideal world, I guess they're planning to start building in June of 2026, but this is a pre-application, so nothing was approved yet. There's more to come. And happy to answer questions on that, but I have one other thing as well. Dave.
I just want to add, earlier, this site, due to, it was a dump site at one time, they can't put large blocks of large buildings there. It's just, we're going to have some in the front, but it's just not in the, there's smaller buildings or there's single homes in the back, so it's a function of what's underneath the ground there.
And then the last little thing is we did an early issuance of permits for the Gusto Apartments. That is the apartment complex done by Newcomb Development, thank you, on Seminole and Lacey. It's the one building. There's 3 buildings planned, but it's just the one building right now nearest the roundabout. They're going to get started with the footings and foundation very soon. That's all. Thanks.
Nope. Okay, thank you. So next we move to the Board of Public Works.
I will move approval of Resolution R-232.
Resolution.
Who is going to do it?
Dave, you want to do it?
Go ahead, Bill.
Okay.
Bill, go ahead. You're there. No, you're there, Bill. Do it, please.
I'll move approval of Resolution R-23225, authorizing Dane County services for stormwater and permit review and erosion control inspection in 2026.
Second.
Board of Public Works approved. RCC approved.
Finance approved.
Okay, I think we have a public comment by David Haight. So David, go ahead.
So this is an egregious failure of the city and the Board of Public Works. It represents a complete abdication of the responsibility of the city to do what's required under this, which is the MS4 discharge permit. Mr. Earps, have you read the MS4 discharge permit? Mr. Volker, have you read the MS4 discharge permit? This is outsourcing to the county in a way that is completely unlawful the responsibility for evaluating and approving stormwater plans for all development within the city that's not the city itself, but that the city ends up with, which is part of the MS4 discharge permit. You remember Mr. Schulte giving you a presentation that said for the low-hanging fruit of 20% of the cleanup of the Nine Springs Creek was 12.5 million. So you're looking at 25, 37, $50 million there, and you're outsourcing to the county a person in a corner office who doesn't know anything about the details of what's required in this city. So you have a particular responsibility because this contract actually obligates you, the council, to name the person who's allowed to sign these. That person in Chapter 30 is called the city engineer. And do you know that the city engineer definition in the officers was changed? Tim Volker's not the city engineer. He's the engineer. The city engineer is completely administratively defined role, which only the council may determine who is able to sign these permits. And what does signing this permit mean? It means that the city must take whatever the county person has done with regard to design. And they're doing illegal things under the contract. The contract says if the city's ordinance isn't good enough, that's the only reason for the county to do the work. And the county applies the county ordinance, which is good enough. But the county person applies the unlawful city stormwater ordinance. And that's your job to figure out and determine who is allowed to sign it. That's what's in the contract. That's what's in Chapter 30. I'm not making it up. You can take a look at it. But I can tell you this. This has led to tens of millions of dollars of unfunded liabilities, which are now coming home to roost. You know how many? $2.8 million was that Schulte study. $2.8 million for the study. For one part, Nine Springs Creek. Not the other creeks. This is real money. It's time to get serious. Don't take some
David,
woofy answer.
your time is out. Thank you. Any question, comment? Tim, do you want to add any comments?
Yeah, well, this is something that we've done for several years now. The county comes in and does inspections of development sites and lets us know if anybody is outside of compliance. Tim, can you speak more toward the stormwater and permit review role that the county plays?
Yeah, so the city, Ben, is the one reviewing it. He reviews both the publicly owned projects and then also the private ones, the private developments. So the private developments, he'll do a cursory review, kind of review the maintenance agreements. The county will also review it. And then for the publicly owned projects, Ben does a more in-depth detail along with the county. And then the county also assists with the erosion control inspection services. And then any permit that gets issued, I'm the one signing it. So right now, the permit review goes through our OpenGov system. And once the county and Ben have signed off, it comes into my queue, and I'm the one ultimately signing this permit. So it's not the county signing the permit. It's the city engineer, which is myself.
Thank you. Are the other municipalities, do they have a similar process that we have? Do you know that?
Yes, the city of Middleton, Stoughton, Oregon, Waunakee, Cottage Grove, Deerfield, and Cambridge also utilize Dane County for these services.
Okay. Any question, comment? Nope.
I guess, this is $35,000, and this is billed back to the developers. So the city winds up paying roughly half of the $35,000. Whatever work is done by the county for public projects.
Oh, this is only for public projects.
Well, the $35,000 is for both public and private. But any of the private developments, whatever the county charges gets billed back to the developers.
Okay.
Yeah, through November of 2025, $23,416 was billed back to the developers, and then about $7,300 was for city-owned projects.
What is the typical, for the people that are listening, what are the typical public projects that we contract with Dane County for erosion?
It'd be like the Cyan Road reconstruction project. So in 2026, we'd probably utilize them for Fitchburg Road reconstruction project. Trying to think.
The police facility?
Other public. Police facility would be another one. Any public building, the hub, they would have helped us out on that in 2025.
Okay. We have another question. Dave, go ahead. Dave.
I just had. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I would take a little bit of exception that there's someone at the county that just sits in his office, in corner office, and doesn't know what he's doing. Tim has seen the resources that they get. You know, he's had consistent resources since he's been here, and we probably had the same people, and they're working on other cities. I'm a little upset about the assertion that the county person is inexperienced or is just an office dweller and doesn't know what they're doing. That's all I wanted to say.
So I imagine, Tim, that the Dane County people staff is also an engineer or someone that have a technical degree on
Yes,
this?
they have the technical knowledge to do this. Whether or not they have the P license, I don't believe the person they have doing that, but it's not required in this.
Okay. Any other question, comments? Okay, here none. All those in favor of resolution R-232-25, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. So next we move to
Dave says.
And Public Works won't be meeting, with Monday being Martin Luther King holiday.
okay.
We won't be meeting, so we may only have one meeting in January. We might, depending on what Tim has, we may go to the beginning of February. That's all I wanted to add.
Okay, thank you.
And we do have the second meeting. It is Monday, January 26th at 5:30.
Okay.
It's been rescheduled.
It is scheduled. Okay, thank you, Tim.
Okay, thank you. So next we move to the Parks Commission.
Just a couple things. We reviewed we gave input back to Eric about the shelter, the shelters that we're proposing by the splash pad and inclusive playground. We talked about that. At the next council meeting, a recommendation on the name for the community center will be coming forward. And you might have seen in December in the Star, the Friends of the Park had just a small introductory article. We'll probably have one in coming in February, a little more extensive what we've got going on. So that's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Library Board.
We meet next on January 21st, next Wednesday.
Thank you. And next we move to the Commission on Aging Well.
I'll start with the resolutions. I move approval of resolution R-237-25, approval of the 2026 Dane County contract for case management and nutrition services.
Second.
Okay, what is this?
This is the senior center is a purchase of service agency that is contracted to provide the case management and nutrition services to Fitchburg adults 60 years and older. And this was approved by the Commission on Aging Well at the December 11th meeting.
How much money is like
It
147,000?
is where did the amount just go?
Yeah, $147,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finance also approved this, sorry, I did
Okay.
not say that.
Okay, we are getting less money. We started with 150 and now with
Yeah, they had
24. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you saw that Dane County budget. They had some cuts that they had to. Sorry.
Okay. Any question, comments about this?
I'll just add too that this is an annual contract that
Annual,
we do
yeah.
each January typically. Logan had it.
Oh, Logan.
My mic was already on. I was just going to ask if we knew if there was going to be any significant changes to the services provided, if there's going to be the slight budget reduction that you just mentioned.
Services provided from us, like whether it be changes.
Yeah, I guess just will folks in the community notice much of an impact from? It looks like it's only a couple grand.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
they shouldn't. We haven't discussed it, and Jill didn't seem to be too worried at this time about any changes like that from the Fitchburg end.
Thanks.
Any other question, comment? Okay, all those in favor of resolution R-237-25, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next one.
I move approval of Resolution R-244-25, amending the 2026 General Fund and Donation Fund budgets, Senior Center LTE Nutrition Site Assistant.
Second.
Okay, what is this?
And Finance Committee approved.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Yeah. This is a resolution amending the 2026 budget. Basically, it's according to section 10-47C, a 2/3 vote of the entire Common Council is required when an amendment alters the total revenue and expenditures in any particular fund. The budget amendment also requires the publication. So basically just changing the overall budget for the Senior Center LTE, the Site Nutrition Assistant.
I can add a little bit more to that if you'd
can you
like.
explain? Yeah.
So the last several years, the Senior Center has requested an LTE employee for nutrition site assistance. City Council has not been able to allocate the funding for that particular request. And the Senior Center has worked with the Senior Center Friends Group in order to fund a part-time position of approximately, on average, 20 hours per week. For 2026, the Senior Center Friends has made a commitment to fund about $15,000 for this position, and a private donation has also offered to support the remaining $6,000. So this will fully be funded by donations for the year 2026. So as Alder Dantzler mentioned, this would be a budget amendment that would allow this revenue to come into the city and be allocated to this LTE position. So also, as Alder Dantzler mentioned, it would require a 2/3 vote.
Okay, so this is something that we need to look for future budget, that how we can make this position, to be part of our levy, because, we are lucky that we have donation, but who knows for how long.
Right.
So it's something that we need to look at the 2027 budget. Okay, so we need 2/3 of the vote, so we are going to do roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Alder Dancer Jr.
Aye.
Alder Gerhart.
Aye.
Alder Herbst.
Aye.
Alder Jutzer.
Aye.
Alder Latase.
Aye.
Alder Lepper.
Aye.
Alder Maldonado.
Aye.
Alder Ragsted.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, so
Oh, real quick.
anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a few more comments. So the new social worker, Sarah, started part-time at the Senior Center on January 5th. She brings experience working with older adults and is also bilingual. She replaced Sarah Folker, who is now full-time at the police department. Jill has been meeting with the recreation department and H&I staff and setting initiatives for the newly created Recreation and Community Services Department. So we look forward to the combination of those departments and Jill's great work that she'll be bringing forward through those initiatives and the combination of those departments under her direction moving forward. That concludes the report on Aging Well.
Conservation Commission.
Yes, we met last night and had a very interesting presentation from a member of the USGS talking about our Swan Creek monitoring station, and how we've got every time there's a runoff event, some samples are taken, stored in a refrigeration unit in the monitoring station. Somebody comes by, picks them up, over the course of the year, we send 80 to 100 test tubes of water to the Wisconsin State Lab of Hygiene, where they run tests for phosphorus and total suspended solids and nitrates and chloride, et cetera. And I just forwarded the presentation, so it should be in your inbox, but there's information in there showing, Swan Creek in comparison with other creeks in the area. And I guess the big takeaway is that the major contributor to pollutants in the streams is the number of inundations we get, so large precipitation events where a lot of the surface runoff heads to the stream all at once. So in a given year, if you have X inches of rain and it all comes down in 5 events rather than 50 events, you're going to have a much worse year for water quality. We also had...
I have a question about that.
Sure.
Is that we are still doing the monitoring? Because my understanding is we are not doing anymore.
He did say there were funding issues, but we're still doing it, and we might have to cut back on the number of samples that we process, because every sample that is pulled out of there goes to the state lab, and there's probably 4 or 5 tests that are done, and each of those tests costs like $35. Plus there's, the employee time to run around to the monitoring stations and pick up those samples periodically, and then all of the data analysis. And Todd, what was his name? His last name is difficult to pronounce. But he talked about, potentially taking fewer samples, maybe cutting the number in half, and then applying some more statistical analysis to the smaller number of samples. And what that would do is just, lengthen the amount of time that it takes to determine any sort of a trend that we see in the water quality over time.
I think we need to double check if we continue doing that. And also, yeah? Okay. And the other thing is we need to think about if we are developing more land there. You know what I mean? We need to have more monitoring, the runoff.
Yes.
But we need to, Okay.
Dave had a question as well.
I was just going to add, what Bill was saying about those events, with the deluge event. They did a study, this was probably 10 years ago or more, on the north end of Lake Mendota, the streams that fed in along there, that fed into the Ohio River, and they found the same thing, a large volume, there'd be increased velocity of the water in the streams, and it would churn up the sediment that was in the bottom, and then it would end up in the lakes. And you're seeing the same. I believe we're seeing the same results here.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
We also had a presentation on the Urban Forestry Management Plan. We discussed the resolution from Public Works that we just approved earlier. Finalized our 2025 annual report, and then also talked about our next Green Thursdays event at the library that'll be coming up here January 22nd, 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m. We'll be screening the film Feeding Tomorrow. It's a 2024 documentary about food production in the world and how to keep everybody fed while in a sustainable manner, so we can continue to keep everybody fed.
But it's a 2024
Yes,
document.
it's a more modern film than the previous event. At the library.
At the library. Okay, anything else, Bill? No?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Where we are? TTC.
All right, so we met last on January 8th, and for those who would like to go back and watch another interesting presentation, we had a really, I guess I'll just call it a really eye-opening experience shared with us by a member of the community about some of the barriers that exist in trying to become a transit rider in the city of Fitchburg. There was a group of seniors that wanted to take the bus to go to the Chazen Museum in Madison, and the number of hurdles that it took that stood in their way was it took a lot of persistence to continue on with their trip. In addition to the fact that the weather was not cooperative, if you want to get a fast fare card, you used to have to go to the Metro headquarters on East Washington Avenue in Madison, which would require multiple different buses to get to from Fitchburg. Because of this advocacy from this community group, we now have those fast fare cards at the Fitchburg Public Library available to folks. So you don't have to drive all the way down to the east side of Madison to get a card to ride the bus, if you would like to do that. I will not summarize the entire thing, but if you're interested in that, definitely worth a few minutes of your time to go back and watch that presentation. Always appreciate hearing directly from transit users about the ways that we can do better from our standpoint at the city of Fitchburg and with our partners at Metro Transit. Speaking of transit, we also discussed an idea to close a bus stop on Fish Hatchery Road at Greenway Cross. Now, this stop is technically in the city of Madison, so it would have been we suggest to Metro and to the city of Madison that they close this stop. If you're heading north on Fish Hatchery, it is just past Greenway Cross, right where folks are starting to get into the mindset that they're getting onto the Beltline, onto the ramp. So there was an idea about perhaps moving or closing that stop because there are two others that serve the two routes. I want to say it was the B and the H in that area. Ross sent us some additional data, I believe today, from the police department that says that there have not been any significant number of bus-related crashes in that area. I think there was only one off the top of my head here. So that was something else we talked about, and I don't know if we will be taking any action on that in the short term. And then, let me pull up my notes here. We also talked about ways to promote and increase transit ridership, especially as we will be adding all-day service on routes 65 and 75 this year, how we can kind of get ahead of things and start promoting that to the community, such as inviting Metro Transit to the Community Night Out event to increase transit awareness, whether we could highlight at an event at the library that you can now get your fast fare card at the library, things like that. So more to come in that world as the months progress.
I have a question. I thought that you can pay the fare with your, with your iPhone, with your credit card.
Yes, you can pay with the tap to pay with the credit card. Apparently, as of this moment, you can't tap to pay with a credit card if you want to get the senior discount, which is, I believe, $1 each way instead of $2, so 50% savings. I believe Ross said that was coming, but it is not here at the moment.
And how we are promoting or informing our community about that we have those, what do you call?
The fast fare cards?
Yeah, and at the library?
That is a great question and something that...
I suspect it's going to show up in the newsletter.
A newsletter?
We're working on it, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, I want to be sure because this is, okay.
I know somebody who's on TTC and library board who can maybe be a conduit for that information.
Who?
Me.
No, I think because, so we have all this good stuff of how we can communicate with this, the resident.
Absolutely.
Because this is what I think. I want to be able to you. I agree with some of the barrier because sometimes if I need to take the bus, I don't know how even to do it. Because I was, where do I buy that car? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, and we talked about reaching out to RCC among others because they're a very hands-on and involved group of folks as well to do something like bus buddies. And if somebody wants to ride the bus and doesn't know how to use it, all right, let's meet at the at Pick and Save one day, and we'll get on and ride the bus to and from where you need to go, so that you have somebody with more bus experience to kind of guide you through, so that you know how to pull the yellow cord or touch the signal to let the buses know that you're ready to stop.
Maybe you need to come with me.
Anytime.
Okay, thank you. So where we are, Community and Economic Development Authority.
Our next meeting is Thursday, the 22nd at 7:30, at 7 a.m.
Thank you. Ag and Rural Affairs Committee.
Our next meeting is January 20th.
Okay, so Bicycle and Pedestrian Commission, Joe.
Yes, I would like to postpone just navigating all the screens, Resolution R17425 to the January 27th meeting.
Okay, who's second? Okay, Donna. Okay. Do we need to add anything?
I'll just add that
Okay.
we're looking to get a Bike and Ped Commission meeting scheduled between now and the next Common Council meeting.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor of postponing Resolution R-174-25 until our next meeting, January 27th, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, anything else that you want to add for the bike? No? Okay. Then we move to EMS. Jake.
Our next meeting is on Thursday, but we had a meeting between the last Common Council meeting and now. The main thing we discussed at that meeting was the approval of the new contract for the paramedics. It was largely a continuation of the previous one. They did mirror the city of Fitchburg's parental leave policy, so now they have the same amount of paid parental leave that we offer all of the city staff in Fitchburg. And there were some other changes to uniforms and some small pay structure changes. They also now have a lateral transfer pay plan so that they can recruit experienced paramedics at a higher pay rate. And then the other thing was that the commission makeup changed, obviously, with the new interagency agreement. So the chief thanked all the folks from the town and the city of Verona that will no longer be on the commission.
Okay. And the new contract is only for 2 years, isn't it? Instead of 3. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Healthy Neighborhood Committee.
I move approval of Resolution R-236-25 to approve a contract with Dane County to accept the 2026 Neighborhood Navigator funding, funding. Stop.
Second.
Okay, what is this?
Yes, so the Healthy Neighbor, basically the city initiated our Navigator program back in 2019, utilizing Dane County funding to advance the H&I by connecting neighborhood residents with resources, programs, and services. County funding was utilized to hire 2 neighborhood navigators, both residents of the North Fitch Hatchery Road neighborhood. Thus far, those navigators have served over about 1,800 city residents and have built productive working relationships with various departments throughout the city, including the police department, the senior center, MMSD, the city of Madison, and multiple non-profit neighborhood service providers. This resolution that we are discussing in front of us today approves a contract to accept the Dane County funding in the amount of $24,845 in 2026 to continue to implement the the Neighborhood Navigator program, and the city attorney has reviewed the contract.
Okay, any question? I want to ask you a question. These neighborhood navigators are only for the entire city, or is this going to be only for North Fish Hatchery?
So they're for the entire city, but the individuals who serve as the navigators reside in that part of the city.
Okay, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it is all throughout the city. I know that it was pointed out in the Finance Committee meeting that the contract isn't quite as clear on that. But originally, when the contract was initiated and this program was initiated with Dane County, the services provided were limited to
Yeah.
the Leopold
Okay,
School
but not anymore.
area.
Okay.
But within the last year, if not 2 years, the county has lessened those restrictions and allows the navigators to go throughout the entire community. I don't know, Deanna, if there's anything you wanted to add. I see you on.
Yeah, I just jump on. So now it is for the entire city.
Okay.
But of course, our neighborhood navigator, we're just going to have one going forward, will focus on our healthy neighborhoods.
So we are going to have one now
Correct.
instead of two.
Yes.
And then we can pay $24,000. It's almost kind of like a 20 hours. No, I don't know.
Yep, it's 20 hours per week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, Micah.
Could I move to approve this as amended by finance?
What did you talk
We
about?
just made a technical correction to change 2025 to 2026 in the resolution.
Oh, in my resolution, I have
for-
26.
Yeah, which one?
It says, now be it hereby resolved, blah, 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 we're going to support the Neighborhood Navigator Program in
Yeah, I
2025.
found it. Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second that motion.
And then
Okay.
it says adopted this day, 2025, that's got to be 2026 as well.
I have 26 in this
Okay.
Yeah, it was updated in the council packet.
Oh,
one. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Any other question, comment? Okay, all those in favor of resolution R-20.
Amendment.
Well, hold on. Yeah,
No, we are not gonna
they
do an
made
amendment for
they made
this.
a motion.
Oh, my Lord. But we can say that we are going to approve it as amended by finance?
It wasn't moved that way.
Yeah.
Just vote on that. It'll be cleaner.
Oh, my Lord, I hate doing this. Okay, all those in favor of
Hold
the...
on. So what were we doing first? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All those in favor of the amendment say aye.
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 Any opposed? The amendment passed. Now is all those in favor of the
Do I have to restate mine with the? Okay.
amended resolution, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carry. Okay, I don't want to say this anymore. I know, but yeah. Any other thing about the H&I?
No, that concludes the report.
Okay, thank you. What about the H&I grant? Do you know when they're going to be out?
I don't.
Oh, the
If Chad, do you have?
I think Jill mentioned in a recent conversation that
Oh,
they
I
were
see.
hoping the end of the month. I think they had it, the next
Okay.
upcoming H&I meeting, I think there was still some conversation.
Right.
And after that meeting has concluded, they would anticipate that the grants would be available at that point.
Okay.
Sorry, Diana, I am still thinking that you are part of the H&I.
Well, that's fine.
Oh, you weren't talking to me? Oh, cool. Sorry.
So next we move to the Housing Advisory Committee,
No report.
Landmark Preservation Commission,
No report.
Tree Advisory Committee.
Yes. 1 second. Yeah, we met on the 8th. We discussed the public version of the Strategic Urban Forestry Plan, which was already mentioned. The public comments open until February 24th. Just appreciate anyone going out to look at that. If you want to hear the Tree Advisory Committee discussion on it, I would recommend watching the December meeting from last year. Instead, we discussed it a lot longer in that one rather than this one. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Community and Equity Committee.
No report at this time.
When is your next meeting? Do you know?
So we meet the fourth Tuesday. So the fourth Tuesday of every month. Yes.
Okay.
Is our next.
Report from any other commission and committees? Nope. Okay.
MPO Policy Board did not meet in January.
Okay. A standing committees report. We move to the Finance Committee.
I'm going to start with the report. Misty, given all the discussion about the debt service fund resolution at our last meeting, she actually put together a memo to explain what a bona fide debt service fund is, its definition and purpose. It's a good memo, and we had a discussion there. I don't necessarily want to dig into it, but if you had questions about it, I would encourage you to watch that or chat with me. The memo is in the packet for finance. Tax collection is ongoing. As some people know, but maybe not all know, we collect all the taxes for all the overlying municipalities and ourselves, even though we only keep about 1/3 of the money. In 11 working days at the end of the year, our city staff collected $39.7 million of taxes. To date, we've collected about $53.1 million. And all told, we expect the total tax roll for all the municipalities is $126 million. So that'll go through July, I believe. We do this, I mean, it's kind of a service to our residents, right? So they have a more convenient place to pay. But one benefit of it is that we do get to keep any interest revenue from the funds we retain before we pass it on to the other municipalities.
I like that.
It's not a ton of money, but it is in the tens of thousands of dollars range. So that's the little bonus we get for doing that. And once again,
It's overhead cost.
Yeah. Once again, it's not only about 1/3 of that is Fitchburg.
Yeah, remember, 1/3.
1/3. And then they are working on closing out 2025, so the finance department is quite busy. They already hired that part-time position that we authorized last time with those staff savings that's the savings that we found in the budget. And they are currently hiring for the finance specialist, procurement, and budget. That will mostly serve the Public Works Department. So if anyone out there is interested in a finance position with our wonderful city of Fitchburg, I encourage you to apply or share that with others that might be qualified. And then I will move to the resolution. I will move approval of Resolution R-24025, amending the developer deposit required when TIF assistance requested policy.
Second.
So this finance did approve. If a developer approaches the city with a tax increment finance request, it obviously costs us money, usually at least with a analysis by Ellers, but sometimes also with legal fees. Back in 2018, we created a policy that requires a deposit in order to make that TIF request. As the requests have become more complex over time and as that legal counsel sometimes is included, we decided that the policy needed to be updated to reflect that more complexity, also increase the cost to $20,000. And then sometimes these requests require an amendment to the actual tax increment district, which is a whole different process that costs money. So we also require a deposit if a TID amendment is required. We refund any amount not used for that and invoice any for any underage if we don't ask for the right amount of a deposit. We are not the only municipality that does this, and the developers obviously do still make TIF requests and do regularly engage with us on this, but we just needed to update this. It's been several years, and it's time.
Okay, any question, comment? Yes, go ahead.
Do we have just a ballpark idea of right now it looks like we're increasing this from 10,000 to 20,000. Is that pretty close to our actual costs? Are we refunding a lot? Are we undercharging? Just kind of curious how close to the bullseye $20,000 is.
Yeah, so what we've been seeing lately is a lot of the requests are trending closer to $15,000. And that is based upon not only increases in the overall cost for Ellers service, but also now looking to loop in legal at certain times, depending upon the complexity of the agreement. For instance, the workforce within market rate at the Lido development was a situation where we looped in outside legal counsel to provide some additional capacity and expertise. And this simply allows us to update that. We will kind of look at each request to kind of get an idea of the complexity of the request. And what this policy does allow is for a deposit to be requested up to $20,000. So we'll certainly look at that, and minimally we'll be looking for a $15,000 deposit just based on what we're seeing. And in other situations, it may be, a $20,000 upfront, depending again on what we're seeing on the front end.
But also, we need to include the staff time on that, because sometimes what I have seen is it takes a lot of time of you and Misty and Valerie and Mike. You know, so this is the indirect overhead, you know, in that.
Right, and what we do now is we do have the ability through the tax increment district to fund city employee wages that are spent on items related specifically to the tax increment district. So each of us, as we, you know, complete our payroll, we look through our calendars and identify those hours that were spent specifically on TID-related matters, and then those are tracked in the payroll system, and then finance applies those costs to the TID itself. So the tax increment that comes in from those particular, or into those districts, a portion of that is used to pay for the staff time associated with projects in that district.
Yeah. How do you call that code in the velocity? I don't remember, but. Yeah, but they keep track of that. Yeah. Okay, any other question, comments? Here none. All those in favor of resolution R-240-25, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So next we move to personnel committee. Any update?
No update from me unless there's something to update related to the arbitration or anything.
No, there will be arbitration hearing on February 4th with regards to the contract negotiations for the fire department union. I think that's been communicated in the past, but just thank you for pointing out that the reminder there. And I think the next personnel committee meeting is scheduled. I don't know if it's been scheduled yet, but planned for early February.
Yeah, Sarah hasn't reached out and scheduled it yet, but yeah, it'll be coming in February.
Okay. What about public safety and human services?
No update. We might not have a second meeting this month. There's not a lot on the agenda right now.
Okay, thank you. And then we move to item 10, unfinished business. We don't have anything. New business? No. And then we move to the ALDER district reports, and we are going to start with District 4.
I guess I don't have anything to report, but I look forward to being out and about in the district in the coming months and getting to know folks.
Okay.
I guess I will say we are also going to be attending one of the neighborhood association annual meetings next Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
And we're meeting with one of the local pastors about a Guns to Gardens program, and he's going to teach us a little bit more about that.
Okay.
A couple events coming up on the 15th, so in 2 days. Online appointments will be available at the Richard Dilley Tax Center in Madison. This is a free service to get your taxes prepared. I volunteer for it and have for many years. There's no real requirement to get it done. That we do have certain things we won't do, but it is, just to get some stats, we did 3,000 returns last year. The median income was about $33,000 for people that came in. But it's entirely free, and if you come in, maybe I will do your taxes.
You don't have income restriction?
There is not an income restriction. There is a complexity restrictions. So there are certain things that we will not do. But yeah, we don't technically, mainly just because we have people that have been coming for many, many years, and we don't want to turn them away. I have become the resident expert on what school district code is for Fitchburg residents.
Oh, yeah.
So that is, I can look at an address and know that. So
It's number, what is 26?
Oh, I don't remember the numbers.
Some expert.
Well, I know what street is what school. That's what I get asked.
okay.
Yeah.
That's harder.
And then on the 20th, so in a week, there is a blood drive at Four Winds Farm. So that's a event you get to. And then, then on the 22nd, we have the Seminole Forest Neighborhood Association meeting, which is actually at the community center. So if you're from Seminole Forest, come and I think we'll both be there. So.
Oh, thank you. District 3.
The only thing I'll update is that there's an upcoming neighborhood meeting. Well, it isn't until February, and we'll probably say this again, but I'll announce it now. It's for a business that is potentially coming here, The Hive, and the business owners are hosting a neighborhood meeting in the large room at the Fitchburg Library on February 7th from 2:30 to 3:30, and they welcomed, of course, all of the alders to come, and then also neighbors or individuals just to talk about their potential business and the space that they plan to be in District 3.
Okay, thank you. Logan.
All right. I'll start with the sad item that happened in District 3 since our last meeting here. A couple days before Christmas, we had a homicide in the Southdale neighborhood. One person was shot and unfortunately succumbed to their injuries. Just an all-around sad, terrible situation right before Christmas. Just wanted to express condolences to the family of the victims and appreciation to the first responders who undoubtedly put in another long day, as typically happens when these sorts of situations come up. Speaking of folks who contribute a lot of hours to our city, I got the experience of a lifetime, I guess I'd even call it. I got to ride along on a snowplow with one of our streets department members as they plowed up Fish Hatchery Road and other parts of District 3. If you haven't done that yet, highly recommend it. You think you've seen a lot and you know a lot of the roads you drive on, and then you see them before they've been plowed, and it's quite eye-opening. Couple of things I'll pass along that I learned that I think would be helpful for the general public to know. Obviously, following our alternate side winter parking rules is very important. Something that was interesting with that as well is even when you're not in the alternate side restrictions, so if you're parking during the day and the plows are out, don't park directly across the street from another parked vehicle. If you're parking and you have the space, kind of give yourself a little bit of a buffer so that the plows can actually make it through. We almost had to do a U-turn in the Waterford Glen subdivision, trying to get through and plowing the street because there were only two cars parked on the whole block, and they were both right across the street from each other, which meant the plow could barely get through. So our plow drivers do a great job of navigating that, but help them out. And then, of course, give them plenty of room. There may be instances where they need to back up to make a turn or make multiple passes through an intersection. So don't be right up on the bumper of the plows because you also don't want all the salt on your hood. Also want to give a shout out to the folks on Hollyhock Street in Swan Creek who were once again named the favorite street for the Holiday Lights Tour, truly putting the holly in Hollyhock. And the favorite house this year was 2754 Hollyhock Street. If you haven't checked it out yet, at least most of the lights are still up as of my bike over here this evening. And also wanted to let folks know I was able to attend the finalists presentations for the Oregon School District Superintendent position. 3 solid candidates interviewing for that position, and the Oregon School District met last night to discuss that. I have not seen any updates if they have extended an offer or announced publicly who they will be choosing. But they have several good candidates from which to choose. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. District 2.
Just a couple of things. I read that the Flying Hound in Fitchburg closed, kind of without really any notice. I think they closed last Sunday, so sad to see that go because it was a really wonderful establishment. So thank you to the owners for having that around for so long. I was able to go to Zeffirano over the weekend for the, again, which is that restaurant on the top of the Wyndham Garden off of McKee and Fish Hatchery. It's the Indian-Italian fusion restaurant. It's wonderful. They were full on Saturday night, which I was very happy to see. So it's nice to see people supporting our local restaurants. And then also wanted to give out a shout out to Greater Heights Climbing Gym. They hit their one year anniversary. They're off of Rimrock Road in Southdale neighborhood. The second climbing gym in the area, and they are doing very well. It is always busy there. I'm there usually a couple times a week, and they're doing a wonderful job. And the east side location of the Boulders, the other climbing gym, actually just closed. So
really?
Greater Heights will probably get much busier.
There is one in downtown.
Yeah. So if you, but if you're interested in climbing, it's a wonderful place. Even just go for a one-day activity, and they do a wonderful job there. I'm really proud of them. So congratulations on 1 year.
All right, thank you. Bill?
Just a reminder that today would be a bad day to go skating, but the rest of the week, temperatures are are going to plummet somewhat, and so the ice rinks should be freezing up again in case you're wishing to get out and do some skating or playing hockey. Another reminder, next Thursday, January 22nd at the library is the Green Thursdays film screening of Feeding Tomorrow. That's an RCC event. And if you don't want to go to that, also on January 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Madison Public Library on Mifflin Street, there's a meet and greet with the City of Madison's new Transportation Director, Christoph Spieler, author of Trains, Buses, People, I think is the name of his book. He's been with the city now for perhaps, well, a few months.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
And a reminder that the Madison Beltline PEL study is still ongoing, and there is a public comment period. So between now and January 31st, you can submit comments on the study. And
we can submit our ordinance, isn't it?
They are aware of Fitchburg's resolution
Resolution.
against expansion. They did say that there's like a 10-minute video floating around out there that you can watch where they acknowledge that the vast majority of the feedback they've gotten says, please don't add another general purpose lane. This is not the right thing to do. But we're going to leave it in the study anyway because we think it's going to alleviate congestion, or I guess further the goals of the project is the way they phrased it. Not appearing in the study is anything having to do with mass transit, though. Yes. And that's the end of it for me. So on to our remote D1 folks.
Okay, so let's go with Joe and Dave.
Dave can go first.
Okay.
I think I had two things. They continue to work pretty feverishly through the winter on the Corey Frank's large apartment complex in Quarry Hills. It continues to, the monolith, the giant structure continues to go up, and every time you go by, you're kind of awed a little more. And also, if you notice, the Blue Plate Catering, which has moved in on Anton Drive, that building really looks nice. When you go by on Verona Road, really a nice fixing up that building and bringing those jobs there. It's really a nice addition to our neighborhood. That's all I had.
Thank you, Joe.
So first announcement, not related to the district, but on the 31st of this month at the Literacy Network, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, which is my fraternity, will be hosting a forum on civic engagement. I will be moderating along with a panel that includes Alder Dantzler, Representative Francesca Hong, and Verona School Board member Christopher Piguero. So please feel free to check that out. The second thing I want to do, and I'm kind of nervous about even doing this, but I feel the need to have to speak, is I want to acknowledge the death of Renee Nicole Good. She was killed last week in the middle of daylight in Minneapolis by an officer of the Immigration Customs Enforcement Agency. Last year, 32 people died in custody of ICE. That was the highest number in 2 decades. And this year, we've already had 4 people die in custody, as well as 2 murders of U.S. citizens by ICE agents. This administration, federal administration, has roguely defied law. They've completely and cruelly entered in cities, taken people without due process, and 75% of the 26,000 people that are detained in custody of ICE have no criminal conviction. This is an administration that is incredibly callous, cruel, and hurtful to citizens and non-citizens alike. And I just want to affirm, as a local elected official that I am committed to ensuring and working towards public safety, and I couldn't not say anything about the actions that have taken place in Minneapolis, and just know that you know, we're not necessarily immune in our community to these types of actions as well. So I encourage my fellow residents to continue to speak out if you feel safe to do so, to continue to protect our immigrant communities, and continue to speak against injustice and for justice, because you know, this has happened historically. This has happened in other countries, and this has happened in our own country. And I don't have all the proper words to say what needs to be done, but I want to make sure that as a local elected official, I'm bringing attention to this issue. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Hey, thanks for saying that, bro.
So, so then we move to announcements. So the next Common Council meeting will be January 27, and the next Committee of the Whole meeting, January 28th. What is the topic?
Our topic is going to be passive building. It is a type of building that makes the building itself energy efficient by itself. You don't have to add, well, you can add solar panels or geothermal, but you don't have to because the building itself is very energy efficient. And I can't explain it any further than that, but the people that are coming will do a great job explaining passive building to us.
Passive building, okay.
Thanks to Alder Jetzer for the referral for the conversation. That will be the sole topic unless anything emergency comes up. Also, please keep an eye out for an email from Chad for our February Committee of the Whole meeting. We might be looking at a different time and perhaps a different location. So please look at your email and respond to his inquiry about whether or not that will be possible for you. Also, we need to figure out if it's possible for FACTv. So, anything you want to add to that?
I was very receptive.
Yeah. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning say aye.
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 The motion carried. Buenas noches a todos. We are adjourning at what time? 8:26. Wow.
8:26.
But you will see that the consent agenda for next week is full.
And we just bumped to the bike and ped plan. And I was like, oh,
I was nervous about that too.
So be prepared to